What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. As you can see from the title, I am bringing you guys my favorites of 2018 in, tutorial form. So if you guys want to see everything that I love this year, make sure you stay tuned and make sure you hit like, comment, and subscribe. Not hit comment, but comment and subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell notification so you can be notified every time I release a new one. So let's get into it. All right, you guys, so let's just go on ahead and dive right on in. I come to you bare face already prepped and ready. If you guys want to see my updated skincare video, make sure that you comment down below, because I have changed some things as far as my skincare regimen. I really simplified things, and I feel like that's what's kind of got my skin like back on track. So I do have like a few blemishes, so as far as foundation, I typically don't need like a whole lot of coverage. So what I've been doing, even though this is like probably more of like a medium to full finish, I really like using the Fenty Beauty, and I am again in the shade 250. I feel like this may be a little light for me, but after we bronze and everything else, it turns out to be just fine. But what I mix in with this guy to make it a little bit more sheer and slight bit more dewy is the Melanie Mills. This is their Rose Gold Body Radiance, or Gleam Body Radiance. And I just have like this small size. I got it in like a 3-pack with 2 other colors. I'm not even gonna mention them because I don't even use them a lot. But I love the rose gold to kind of like, either I'll use this and put it all over my face before I put the foundation on, but most times I just kind of mix the two together. So that's what we're gonna do today. So I have like about a pea-size amount on the back of my hand, and standard about 2 pumps of the Fenty. All right, and that's just what it looks like on the back of my hand. The Body Radiance, it doesn't really change the color at all. It doesn't change the color at all. However, like I said, it just adds like a little bit more dewiness to the overall finish of the foundation. And I quickly dot this on because I feel like this foundation can dry down pretty quick. So I do that as fast as possible. And the brush I've been liking to use is this e.l.f. I believe it's a powder brush, but I've been liking the appearance of me buffing this in as opposed to me using a sponge. I feel like the sponge just kind of makes it sit on top of my face. And I feel with this foundation in particular, it really performs well when it's like really buffed into the skin. I'm assuming like the warmth from buffing rather than using a sponge is what helps it like really marry into the skin nicely. So there we are. Foundation is laid. And then too, like for the summer months, I did enjoy the Can't Stop Won't Stop. I just don't have a shade that matches me currently. So yeah. All right, so that's the foundation. As for concealer, you guys already know I have used this to death. I have gone through 2 whole tubes in this year. By far, this is probably like one of my favorite concealers. I really like the tone of this one. This is the creamy beige. It's just the perfect amount of yellow and brightness in it all in one. So this is my ride or die. All right, as for a setting powder, nothing has really changed as far as that's concerned. This is the RCMA mixed with the banana the banana powder. I do like a 50-50 mix really. And this is what I use to set my under eye. I was a Laura Mercier fan for a while, but just over time, like you go back and forth with different things. And this year I just really didn't use it a whole lot. All right, and as for the rest of the face, as far as setting it is concerned, I am going to go on ahead and use the Fit Me powder. This came out, I want to say this came out this year or last year. And it took me a while before I caught on. And I won't say that I dislike this powder. There's just nothing super special to me, but I just kind of have it readily available here today. So this is just what I'm going ahead and use to set the rest of my face. If you guys have powder recommendations, like something that's a little bit more sheer in coverage, something that I can kind of use like just like a everyday toss on, or to even set my makeup, definitely drop those down below, because I'm always looking for a good powder. That's like the one product that I don't have like a holy grail in. All right, let's go on ahead and talk about these brows real quick, because I did a few new things this year. So for the days that I'm not really wearing a lot of makeup, typically I would always go for just like a powder, just to kind of like quickly fill my brows. But when I did that, I always felt like I did not have enough shape, and like I still want like a little bit of preciseness. So a product that I have picked up and started using, and it changed my life as far as using brow pencils, because before I just could not, like it was just too hard for your girl. But the Wet n Wild came out with the retractable brow pencil, and with this pencil, it's just like the Anastasia Beverly Hills, I forget what it's called, but it has like that, you know, the longer lead, and you know, it's doing something way different, and like it just made it really, really easy for me to precisely, you know, fill in my brows without doing the most. And I did like that it has like a spoolie. This is a brand new one because I literally breezed through one of these already. But for today, I am using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow. Now, I know I am so late on the train, but this year was the first year that I've ever used this. And I'm using the shade Medium Brown. I recently updated and got the soft brown instead. But as you can see, I have damn near, you know, waxed this whole thing off. And I broke my brush. I'll show you guys because it's quite sad. After like cleaning it so much and like roughing it up, I ended up, it was like the glue was loosening up. But this is the one that I typically use, but I'm still going to use the spoolie side because I don't have just a spoolie. So I'm keeping this just for the spoolie. And then I'm just using like an angled brush. This brush, I think this is a Coastal Scents brush, but I'm not really doing anything too special here. So BRB after I got brows. Okay. You see? Okay. They're in place. All right, good. All right, so let's go on ahead and talk about some eye palettes. So as you guys knew, if you're new to my channel, maybe you don't know, but so for this year, first of all, I didn't post a lot of videos at all. I want to say like I've literally only posted like 19 videos. I counted them up early. I'm kind of ashamed, but I'm getting back on the roll. Anyways, so I didn't really buy a whole lot of makeup this year. This year I kind of sat out and like, you know, I dibbled and dabbled in a few releases, but not many like eyeshadow palettes. So there was one that, you know, I've already gave my ode to. Love the Colored Rain Cheers to the Beauty palette. I think that this is such a wonderful palette for like, you know, special occasions. Like if you want like little pops of color, this blue, you guys, is so good. But like this overall as a palette for when you're wanting to be like, I'm about to show up and show out. If you guys want to see looks, I will make sure that I put them up in the cards, wherever that is. But yeah, this palette overall was a standout. I got quite a bit of use out of it. As you can see, anytime I went out or like, you know, had a special occasion, this is the palette that I went for. And the highlighter in this is like really good too. And I mean, I just don't see enough people talking about this palette specifically. I believe it's limited edition. So I want to say if you haven't already gotten your hands on this, unfortunately, I believe they are going to let it run its course. I don't think that they're going to do like what they did with the Queen of Hearts palette, where they ended up bringing it back, because I just haven't seen a lot of people talk about it, which makes me really, really sad because it is such a good palette. Like, I just had to go back and like look at it again, but just so beautiful. But anyways, so this is not what I'm using today because I did get a whole lot of use out of this guy. The Dream Street palette. This is the collaboration with Kathleen Lights and ColourPop. Listen, it's such a, like, you can go a lot of different ways with this, but this is what it looks like. I'm sure you guys have seen this before. My battery literally just died on me. Anyways, so as far as an everyday palette is concerned for this guy, I literally, like, I go back and forth between these two shades just in my crease. And like if I'm feeling slightly fancy, I'll go into like this reddish color. I guess they do have names. Hold on. So this guy, I forget how they, so this is Shooting Star, this is Magical, and then this guy is Potion. So between those three shades of alone, like that's my zhuzh right there. Like that's all I really need. But on the days where I'm feeling like super sultry, I can go into this guy, which is what is it, Elfish. And then for like a little brow bone highlight, go into Moony. Just overall, this palette is absolutely gorgeous. ColourPop is super affordable, so I feel like this is perfect for like the beginner. This is perfect for somebody who wants to save a bit of point, all of that. So this is the palette that we're going to use today. Let me smooth out my lids because I did not set them. All right, and let me see. I'm going to start off with this shade here, which is again just like my favorite everyday type of color. See how good this is? Like, see, at this point, like you can literally throw like a little shimmer on the lid and some mascara and be done. But we're going to keep going. So now I'm going to go into this brown guy right next to it. And this is again, like, you know, something that you can toss in the crease, honey, and keep it pushing. Like if you're a little deeper in tone, this may be the color that you go for, just to like kind of build up the crease a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to go on ahead and go into this reddish shade. I'm just going to kind of show you guys how like I create like a little something extra without doing the most with this palette. Now I'm going to go into this guy here with a more pointed tapered blending brush. Now using a more flat brush, I'm going to go into this corner shade here. I'm going to spray my brush. Place this in my inner lid. All right, so now moving on to the lower lash line. Let me stop making so much noise while I'm talking. I am going to use some black first. And this is just the NYC City Proof 24 eyeliner. First, I'm going to go into this guy using like a flat defining brush. And really get that nice and tight on the lower lash line. I'm such a wuss when it comes to putting my eye makeup on. Like, I don't understand how some of these YouTube girls can like put eyeliner in their eye without opening their eyes. Put freaking, what's it called? Mascara on without making the ugly mascara face. Now I'm going in with a pencil brush in this guy. I'm just going to start in the middle and blend out from there. I'm always very jealous of those girls. I just can't do it. All right, so now I want to take this same shade and pull it a little bit into my tear duct. Yeah, I like that. Now going in with this color here, I'm just going to slightly brush it on the brow bone. So, eyes are done. I am going to use the Colossal Big Shot mascara. This was definitely one of my favorites. I can't remember when this came out, but it's definitely one of my favorites. I really like how the bristles grab onto my lashes. So I feel like I get like good separation, some good volume, and a little bit of lengthening. So, and then two, I discovered Duo Glue. So I have pretty sensitive eyes, and truth be told, like, you know, as far as putting lashes on, this is like really the first year that I've explored a lot with lashes. And that was mainly because I felt like my looks just weren't up to par to everybody else that actually wears lashes. So I was always using like a clear glue, which works, but when you're talking about actually wearing them outside and like not just for video, they just don't last. While the lashes are drying, let's go ahead and do the rest of the face, and we'll, you know, pop those suckers on. So as far as bronzer goes, y'all, listen. This little feller in Ulta was just like, hey, you should really pick up the Morphe bronzer. And I was like, okay, like, you know, I'll pick it up. I wasn't thinking much of it. I think it was like, this little size was like maybe $5-10 or something. This is in the shade A Debutante. But listen, I love this bronzer so much. I think it's the perfect shade for anybody of my skin tone or close. It's nice and soft, like it's very blendable. It's just a good bronzer. Like, look at that. Not too red, you know, not too orange, not too gray. It's like the perfect shade. You guys, I just washed my brushes for the first time in like probably 6 months. Don't judge me. I don't do that with the brushes that I use at work, but as far as my brushes, I rarely wash these joints, and when I tell you they were fucking disgusting, bruh, like, it was all bad in the city, bruh. Like, I was very ashamed of myself, of like some of the gunk that had built up on some of these brushes, mainly the ones that I use like every single day. But yeah, so yeah, there goes the contour. As for blush, I'm just not a huge blush person, but this is a blush that I found myself like reaching for when I didn't know what else to do. This is the Milani Bellissimo Bronze. I want to say this is one of the newer shades, but it's just really soft, bronzy, pretty. It has like a little bit of orange in it, and I love an orange blush. So I left off at the blush. I went on ahead and I applied my lashes. I thought that I had presented these to you guys already, but I ended up using the Eylure X Crazy Ray Ray. This was a blogger edition. Really like these lashes. All of the vlogger or blogger, I don't know what, I guess vlogger, because they do videos, they're on YouTube. Yeah, it says the vlogger series. Reading is fundamental. Anyways, all of the vlogger series, all of the ones that I have tried, I have loved. So these girls know what the hell she's talking about. Again, I really like this lash because it just, like, you know, really lifts the eyes up, and I don't feel the need to put on any eyeliner, which is great for me because I really like bleed a lot in the corners of my eyes. So like, I just don't even want to have to deal with, like, you know, a wing liner at all. Every once in a while I'll go on ahead and tough it out, but it's rare that I even put a wing liner on anymore. I'll just pop on some lashes that kind of flare out a little bit, and I call it a day. To my favorite part, which is highlighters. Child, I got 3 of them right here. So it was a good year for highlighters, but I had to pick just 3. You guys already know this is coming. If you watch my channel, then you can see and you already know. This is Mean Money and Hustler Baby by Fenty Beauty. Absolutely love this highlighter. Most of the time, if I can get anything out of there, I use this for like a base for any other highlighters. Like if I'm using, like, this can be like an everyday situation, like, you know what I'm saying, like real cute, real subtle, you know what I'm saying? Or like, you know, I'll use this as the base to when I'm like really feeling extra and want to go for more of a loose highlighter. If you hear noise, it's because my husband is coming down the stairs and he has to Has to be loud. Just wouldn't make sense otherwise. So yeah. Very soft but pretty. All-time fave. I need to re-up on it because like at this point I'm scraping at the corners, and obviously Hustler Baby is like my favorite out of the two, but I do really like this guy. Actually, I'll show you. I like, what did I say, Mean Money. I like using Mean Money as like a brow bone highlight as well, because it's really soft and pretty, but it's almost the same shade that I actually used on my brow bone, but it has like this gold undertone to it, so it really kind of melts in well with Hustler Baby. So yeah, that's for that. And then I can't remember, I want to say like maybe March, Wet n Wild released this highlighter, but this is their loose highlighting powder. This is in the shade Moon Tears, and child, listen, ooh, like I don't even think that I've ever used this on my channel before, but I bought this right before I went on vacation to New Orleans, and honey child, listen, look at that. Like, if you want to glow for the gods, if you need to teleport your ancestors back down to earth, this is how you signal they ass in. You use Moon Tears because it's just that good. So yeah, there goes Moon Tears. I went ahead and use this as like an inner corner highlight just so you can see how it looks performed. You only need like the tiniest amount. Like, honestly, it's serious. So, I mean, I guess layered over top, it's not showing all its glory. But yeah, there's that. I guess I'll use a little bit. I'll do this one on one cheek and then the other one on the other cheek. How about that? Match. Why not for you guys? So yeah, I really like using this brush too, just because I can kind of control the loose powder a little bit more. But I go in and I'm like, I kind of stamp it in first. And I'll use it by itself up here just so you guys can see. It's good, right? So let me dust my brush off and move on to my other favorite from this year, which is none other than the Artist Couture and Jackie Aina. This is La Peach. She is just, you know, everything. Like, I love her. I've used this so many times for like event makeup, for clients. I've used it on myself 1,000,000,001 different ways. A little bit goes a long way, and I just put a whole lot on my brush, so I'm really scared for what's about to happen here. But same thing. I just kind of like stamp it on, put it where I want it to be. I'll go ahead and toss some up on the forehead a little bit so you guys can see it by itself. So this one is more like when I'm feeling real frosty, and this is when I want like a little bit of warmth, more of that like peachy gold effect. But love both a lot. So now I'm going to go ahead and spray my face. Typically, as far as setting sprays, I mean, I don't have like a true favorite. I'm using the Max Fix Plus, which is always a great one. Otherwise, I really like the NYX. I've tried the dewy and the matte. Both of those are really good. Let's do the lips. So there are a few products that I typically go for, like for an everyday situation. It's usually like the same type of lips. So like, I don't even, it's hard for me to choose. Anyways, so this is my favorite lip liner. This is the ColourPop, I think this was the X-Ray. What is this called? Razor. This was the, it's my Ray Ray. I don't know why I was blanking out on her name. Anyways, but this is my favorite. And I'm sad that I didn't buy backups by the time like they, you know, completed the collaboration. But just for every day, like I'll just line my lips with this and just top it with like any type of new gloss. There wasn't one specifically. Well, I guess I'm lying. I really like the Buxom glosses. I usually get Dolly, and I can't remember the last shade that I got. But I'm all out right now because I need to go to Sephora. But just for the video's sake, I'm using the, this is the Wet n Wild Featherless. This came out in the summer. This was their Flights of Fancy release. But just, you know, something real basic. This is what I like. I don't really shy away from, or like, I don't really go for anything too different. And as for some other lip colors, again, this one was also from the Flight of Fancy. This is Fly Gal. And this one is just like a more muted pink color. You've seen this in my last video, my Colored Rain Cheers to the Beauty, my New Year's Eve look. I used this exact lip combo. So it's the Beeper. This is by ColourPop. This is the Ultra Matte Lip. And then I used Wet n Wild. This is the Liquid Catsuit, which is called Pink Really Hard, in the middle of my lip. And then to top off for gloss, I've been using this guy. And that is pretty much like, you know, all of my favorite things for the year. If you guys have anything that you want to see on my channel this year, I'm getting back in the game. I'm going in balls to the wall, baby. I really want to focus on brands that have more vegan and clean ingredients. So if you know of any that you would like to see a review for, or just like a demo of, definitely leave all of, you know, your recommendations or what you want to see down below in the comments area. And I hope that you guys are having a great start to the new year. I'm already having a really good one, very productive one, and I am excited for what this year is to come. I'm growing this channel so I can bring you guys more content. So please interact with me down in the comments. You know, leave me any suggestions that you guys want to see. If you guys want to see more hair videos, I will definitely share my journey as I have already been doing. I will definitely leave the playlist that I have going for my lock journey up in the cards, so you guys can keep track of that if that brought you to my channel. But yeah, that's everything. So I thank you guys again, and happy New Year's, and I will see you guys on the next video. Okay, peace.